I grew up in a suburb of Washington, D.C. About 40 miles south of the city. Stafford County in Virginia is known for its high-quality public education and is consistently ranked among the top 20 for highest county income in the United States. I grew up in the black neighborhood and went to vacation Bible school with the same kids from my neighborhood. Mostly, I adapted to being the only white kid by laughing at all the jokes about it. My friends taught me how to make homemade Kool-Aid. Pro tip: lime or lemon concentrate, plus sugar. Right. And how to play jacks. In middle and high school, I ran track and played the drums, snare and bass. Okay. But despite my wonderful experience growing up in my neighborhood, I was aware of circumstances that left some of my neighbors with parents and siblings in jail. Some of my neighbors lived in households where poverty and hunger were daily struggles. I first learned about white privilege through non-reciprocal sleepovers with the other white kids because their parents thought I lived in a bad neighborhood. My white classmates, who lived in an affluent and gated community, weren't allowed to come over to my house to play or to spend the night. However, I was welcomed into their neighborhood with its guard shack and gate attendant who always called to announce the visitors. I learned from my mom, who lives with epilepsy and a traumatic brain injury caused by an accident during Grand Mal seizure, about how fear of her having a seizure in public made sitting at the bleachers at track meets and band concerts physically impossible. I learned from my dad, who worked days as a full-time photocopy repair technician and nights as a part-time pizza delivery driver. The potential payoff and felt exhaustion of a strong work ethic. My experiences growing up made me always appreciate having a roof over my head and food on the table. My mom's seizure socially isolated her, but it was humbling to look at others and see those who suffered more than me and face challenges I knew I would never have to overcome. My best friend, for example, had to move in with her grandparents next door when her mom was incarcerated. The family that supported my transition from high school to college was not my own because my parents didn't have the information, knowledge, or resources necessary to help me apply for college. No, I found my support network through the family I provided part-time childcare for. I was a junior in high school when I first met the Brooks family through a classified ad in the local newspaper. The Brooks family and my own family were the inverse of each other. They were the only African Americans in an entirely white and affluent neighborhood. And after hiring me to care for their 3 children, Dr. Shirley and Mr. Joe Brooks opened up a dialogue with me by asking questions about my future. Shirley suggested that I apply for college and offered to write me a letter of recommendation, invited me to imagine my future differently. Specifically, Shirley's mentorship helped me understand that educational achievement beyond high school would open more options for me in the future. Shirley herself, a first-generation college student, read and gave me feedback on my statement of purpose and other application materials. She also helped me out with my student loan application. Without Shirley and Joe's support, I would not have taken the steps necessary to plan for college. And when I began college, I knew what a privilege it was to even apply, let alone attend, because I was the first in my immediate and extended family to do so. When I think back on encounters with influential mentors who opened doors of opportunity and provided hope for new beginnings at key moments in my educational journey towards a PhD, I know what it feels like to not always have the words I'm looking for when I need them. My transition from college to graduate school to now a faculty position here at Notre Dame reminds me that these mentors fostered a space for me to be here. I owe these mentors and teachers a debt I will never be able to repay. When it comes to preparing me for challenges, nudging me to ask questions, and helping me find words when words wouldn't come.